Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of After 30 with Cara Eriguel. I hope you're all safe and well, and I'm so excited to start today's episode. Oh my goodness, I have such an amazing guest today. But before that, I have a question for you. You know how when you eat junk, immediately after your body feels lethargic and heavy? It's like you literally ate trash. We all know that when we choose what we choose to put inside our bodies greatly affects our overall well-being. And the same goes for what you feed your mind. What you consume, what you watch, listen to, or encounter socially on a daily basis affects your entire being. These past 2 years have really been tough for all of us. It is a huge reminder that nothing really is ever in our control, except for ourselves. It may be a shit show out there, pardon my French, but we still have control over how we're going to get through the day and even thrive. At the end of the day, it is in how we choose to live our lives and what we are going to do with what we have that truly matters. Two things that personally has gotten me through the toughest of times are music and comedy. I'm lucky enough to have been raised in an environment filled with music and laughter, most times, thankfully. And those two have been my comfort zones. When I'm sad, feeling alone, anxious, and afraid, when I'm happy and I want to celebrate, I listen to music. When I'm feeling like the world is such a scary place and I'm having a hard time connecting with people, I resort to comedy. Humor is one of nature's ready made ways to invigorate, protect, and connect us with others and ourselves. Music and comedy, universal language yan sila. This episode's guest has masterfully figured out a way to seamlessly merge the two universal languages. I grew up listening to his songs, even singing them with my father at family reunions. Friday nights would also become a habit at our household as we would all come together to share a few laughs. He has been a huge part of our lives in one way or another, I'm sure. Up to this day, he still continues to share his magic with us, and I am excited to finally be sharing the screen with him. Everybody, please welcome the one, the only, Ogie Alcasid.
Wow.
Hi!
Hi, Sarah. My goodness. That intro was was great.
Oh,
Not
thank you.
not because of what you said about me, but I like everything you said. It's fantastic. Hi.
Hi! Thank you for that. Thank you very much for making time. I know you're super busy.
No. Well, yeah, yes I am, but I don't mind doing this because first of all, guys, inaanak ko po to. So, you know, that's one. And another, I like listening to podcasts. So maybe I listen to this.
Hopefully you do. Yay, thank you. Hindi ko sinama sa intro eh. Dalawang isip ako dun. Sasabihin ko bang inaanak niya ako? Parang masyado naman. But thank you for saying that. You are
Yeah.
my ninong twice over actually.
Mhm.
Um, when I was born and sa kasal. So thank you.
That was a scary thought.
Why?
It's like a bombarded boom, boom, you're old.
Sorry, I didn't mean it to sound that way.
No, 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 no. That's just how we are. But anyway, yeah. Congrats with your podcast and
Thank
with
you. Thank you very much.
everything. Yep, you're welcome.
So when I was really thinking about this, no, because especially during the pandemic, I was also living alone at the time, and I was almost losing my mind. And it
True.
was really totoo naman everything I said. It was really listening to music,
Mm.
watching comedy shows that really got me through that. And I just wanted to kind of pick your brain because you are the embodiment of those two things. You're a comedian, a fantastic one. You're a musician. I mean, like I said, I grew up listening and even singing your songs.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess my first question to you is, what core childhood memory can you recall? Diba, lalim bigla childhood memory agad. What core childhood memory can you recall that sort of propelled you to become what you are today, a comedian and a musician?
Wow. Okay. Um, with music, it was always natural because the whole family is into music. However, you know, becoming an artista or a showbiz personality is like out of the question, I think, in our family. Um, but I started young kasi. So I did plays, musical plays, and I was part of a glee club. And when I was in high school, I was with Kundirana of LaSalle. And when I was in college, I was still doing plays, and then I became a professional singer. So, that was quite the natural progression. But comedy, I would say, was more of I I think I just adopted my father's dry humor. He's actually not funny.
Oh.
He's very corny, but
As
not
fathers usually are, they say.
but you find the funny bits in that corniness. And so I guess that's the reason why I just dig comedy, because it was it was part of the family thing too. So um now I think I became a funny actor or comedian, not a stand-up, but because of the things that I did, like Bubble Gang. I don't know if you remember Tropang Trumpo. You were probably
Of
a bit.
course I do.
You do. All right. So, and all the sitcoms, and of course the movies. Sometimes I forget. I actually did 40 movies already. But yeah, it's crazy. So, it's just continuous learning and having fun. I never took myself seriously
Seriously.
that, I have to I have to play an image or whatnot. That's no. So, yeah, that was, I think, what started with me and for me. Mm.
That's a very powerful thing that you said, that, you just made it a point to not take yourself too seriously and not try to put up a front, or like, have to be
Yeah.
this person. And I think that's a huge reason as to why people are drawn to you. Because
Oh,
you're so authentic with, you're funny, and you're really. Yesterday I was with my mom and I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited and anxious at the same time that I'm gonna be interviewing Ninong Ogie tomorrow. And I was like, was he always funny? Sabi niya, yeah. He was just always naturally funny.
yeah. To the point where I don't really care about being silly. So
Mhm.
thus I create characters that are really bizarre. Like, I was looking back because I listen to a lot of podcasts too, and I listen to a lot of comedians who, they explain why they do such things and how they create their characters. And it's funny because I was never consciously doing a character because I wanted to do one. It's just that, okay, I just want to do this. So, like, the last two characters that I did, I don't know if you've known them. One is Felma. She's this old, well, middle-aged lady who manages this this singer. His name is
Mhm.
Aid Wow, and so those, which is also me. And then
Mhm.
Aid Wow has three backup singers, which are all
The
me.
Wowets.
The Wowets. Oh, so you know them anyway.
Yeah.
So, and I don't really know why I did that. I had no purpose, no objective whatsoever in doing that, except that it was fun. I didn't care about being silly. Yeah. So, I mean, so yeah, since your mom, I went to college with her mom. So, yeah, that's how I was. And
So yeah, no, I love it. And you know how did you ever know that story? Because my mom left for the States when I was a child, when I was an infant, right? And at my second birthday, I remember seeing you there, because you were in the one of the family videos, and
you were
this was a
remembered me. That's crazy.
no, well, because I saw you in the family video when I watched it as maybe, when I
Okay.
was in my teens or something.
All right. All
And
right.
I remember my grandmother telling me that story, that when you came in, I called you Papa.
Oh.
Because-
Oh,
and growing up, I would watch you on Bubble Gang. And every time I would see my dad, I would tell him, you remind me so parang you remind me so much of Nino Ogie. And it's like
and
because you're both funny,
oh,
and
your dad's hilarious. Well, go ahead. Anyway, I didn't mean to cut you. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, 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 no. It's okay. No, yeah, he is, and I guess which is why also, a huge factor of that, which is why it's also like a safe space for me because I did grow up to that in the same way that you say you grew up in a musical environment and an environment with where your dad was, always cracking corny jokes, and so it was somewhat innate, to you, I guess. I wouldn't say
Yeah,
I'm funny, although I resort to humor most times, but um, that explains a lot.
yeah.
But okay, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, um, and this is not a smart thing for me to say. I just find it smart, but funny is funny. You know what I'm saying it's funny because it's funny. So it doesn't matter if it's funny to him or whoever. If it's funny to you, then it's funny. So, but going back, because your dad and I, we did a play at one time, and he was the lead actor, and I was wait, what play was that? Um, it was Dracula. Dracula, I think,
Wow,
and
okay.
he played well the guy. I can't remember.
Dracula? No. One of the just the lead.
Yeah, he was the one protecting the lady, the lady
Okay.
in distress. And I've played Van Helsing, and I had my thing was because everybody had a tick, and
Uh-huh.
his was he was like Spider-Man. He would like stick to the wall or something like that, and people would go crazy. Me, I was just sneezing all the time. Strange tick, but anyway. So oh, I loved it. We were and your mom was our audio. She was the spinner.
What?
Yeah, this is crazy.
Spinner nanay ko.
Funny because I remember that night because we had to fix all the SFX and stuff like that, which we recorded from a record from a guys know what record is like the phonograph the record, the
Uh-huh.
vinyl.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had I had like volumes of SFX on vinyl. So we would
Wow.
record that kasi merong mga car crash, merong mga ganyan, mga whatever. Wala naman tayo
Mhm.
nung time na yun, wala namang dipindot no. So we had to record it and you had to rewind it and then when you
The
needed the
scene
sound,
comes up, you
yeah,
play it.
play it. That's how hard it was.
Wow.
Can you imagine back in the day they were using records? So anyway, so I remember doing that in the house with your mom, and we were doing it overnight for the play. Which it was that play was actually it was a box office hit. Um, well,
Wow.
because it was free,
Oh.
but people who came, I remember we played Melchor Hall. We played. I knew this is a UP po ito, so we did
Mhm.
most of the halls, and people were just laughing. All the students were laughing, and your dad, because they were already doing plays ahead of me, so I was like watching all of them, and it was a big learning experience for me, doing that comic play, and I don't know why I'm telling this story, but yeah, it's just
No, I love it.
suddenly it just popped into my head.
All these
Uh,
memories.
yeah,
Yeah.
and back in the day, we would because all the actors, would eat in ooh, what was that restaurant? It was somewhere in UP.
Wala bang
Uh,
chocolate kiss nun? Kasaa? What?
no,
Trellis?
no, it wasn't on campus. It was in teachers' village, and
Oh.
the name is but we would be there after rehearsals, after or after the plays, and we would eat and drink, obviously, and
Mhm.
I learned. I guess I'm an actor. So,
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I guess that's why you told that story. I mean,
yeah,
oh, cool.
and it was an unforced thing. It just happened. I was I was brought to that place. So because I was interested to learn, and I think your dad had a directing class, if I'm
Uh-huh.
not mistaken, or if it was your mom. Either of them. I can't remember. There was a directing class, and they wanted me to play one part, which was a serious part. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't a comedic. It's a serious part. So I did it in UP and in front of a class, and the great Tony Babesa was their teacher.
Oh.
So yeah, I was exposed to that too in college. So
So
sarap.
you said theater. Ang sarap. I mean, listening to you right now, it also kind of brings me back because I did take up theater. You can
Mm.
imagine my parents' reactions when I said, I want to do theater. They were like, Are you sure? But yeah,
Fun.
no, wonderful experience.
Oh yeah. You. It's like a 2 hour workout, especially doing musical plays, because
Uh-huh.
you're singing, changing costumes nonstop, and it's fun. It's fun.
It's really fun. Oh my gosh. Would you do it again? Would you do a play again?
Strange that you ask that because we have been working on a musical,
Oh.
uh, which uses my songs. But this was pre-pandemic when we were planning. It was so. What are we now? 3 years into the pandemic, 2.5.
Mm,
So I would say this is like 4 years in the making. But as you know, things didn't go right in our network, ABS-CBN.
mhm,
Uh, we're still there, but part of which was taken out was a huge department which was handling the musical play that we were working
mm.
on. So, that sort of fizzled out. But last week I had a meeting with some producers and with one of the writers because it's been finished. They've written the whole material.
Ooh, so production na lang, mounting
Yeah.
na lang.
So keeping our fingers crossed. Hopefully, we get blessed by another chance to do this since things are coming back to normal. And yeah, so yes, answer your question. I'd love to do it again, but I'd like to do this, be part of that, and yeah, hopefully it comes into fruition. So
Wow, praying for you.
yeah,
Oh, that's wonderful.
thank you.
Ninong,
Uh,
patiket ka naman, 'no? Lilipad ako pabalik ng Manila.
of course, my God,
Manonood ako niyan.
my gosh, I'd like everybody. It's got a really nice story. Um, I don't want to brag about the music because I wrote it, but
I mean, you don't have to because we all know how wonderful it is. I literally, that's part of my, my gosh, maybe three of your songs are in my KT, in my kantahan list. Because our family, because we are a musical family, both sides. So every reunion, we would always have like a setup and we would sing.
uh,
But I can only sing when I'm drunk or when I'm in with my family. So
the best. That's the best.
it is
Nothing
the best.
against drinking alcohol, guys, but it helps.
It does. I agree. Okay. So you were talking about, I want to go back to you mentioning this a while ago that you said, you don't know where, Eddie Wow and the Wawets, these characters came about. And um I'm guessing this all happened in the comfort of your home because this was, you created these characters during the pandemic. And I guess this brings me to my question, how has I'm thinking of like, Mr. Jean, your wife and your son and your children and the people you are with day in and day out. How has finding humor in everyday life and creating, your beautiful music affected your own life and the people closest to you?
You're talking about the pandemic, right?
Yeah, let's stick with the pandemic specifically.
Right. Okay. I'll try to answer this question directly because I have a tendency to wander about.
Go ahead.
But here's the thing: we would always say, and when I say we, this is all of us, right? That the pandemic perhaps is one of the worst things that ever happened to us. True, that is a fact. However, I should say there are these silver linings that kind of made us better people.
Mhm.
And a huge chunk of that is our creativity. I mean, I'm hearing all these people, actors and singers and musicians specifically, when they say that because they were just bored to their wits at home, they had nothing to do but create. Whereas there was a time when we had to make time to create. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm. Yeah.
we had all the time in the world to create, but I think um, subconsciously, there's a word, um, we were doing it to cope with all the anxiety,
Yeah.
and like I'm hearing people. I don't know if you know Courtney Cox. She's one of the girls in Friends, and
Of course I know Courtney Cox friends.
well, there you go. So she's saying, parang kilala ko siya, no? But she was saying now she plays piano so well. She jams with Elton John now, and she cooks so good, so well, and yung mga ganyan ba. So
Mm-mm.
I think I'm not, uh,
An
I'm
exception to that.
exactly. I'm like everybody else who just had the time and made use of the time. And it was music and comedy that kept me company.
Mhm.
The family. I mean, whenever my wife and I would talk about the early stages of the pandemic, and it was scary. Diba? It was like, what
Oh
is
yeah.
this thing, man? We were all praning. We didn't want to go out. We didn't. We were putting alcohol in our hair, but we were just like, what is this thing? Um, we were scared to death, but
Mm.
we were saying it was a happy time. It was just us here in the house. We cooked. We had no, because we had our help sent back to their homes in the province, and our drivers were gone. So it was just us here, really, really just us. So, and we had a routine: wake up early, clean the dishes, walk the dogs with masks on, do the lavada, uh,
Yeah,
cook,
the routines are important, very important.
diba? Work out, and then same thing every day. So I don't see. This is what I'm saying. I don't know if I actually answered your question.
You did in a lot of ways. You did.
I was just
But
wondering.
no, yeah, no, I guess I got what I wanted to hear from your
Yeah,
answer. It was like a follow up because I do follow you on your socials and I see, on your TikTok and your Instagram, and like I see you with Miss Eugene, and you're
yeah,
just laying in bed, in your home clothes, and you just being crazy, doing, dancing, all doing all the crazy stuff. And I'm like, you know, and I was also having that conversation with my husband after that. It's like, oh, laking bagay nung humor in a relationship. No, in
yeah.
relationships, like especially when times are tough, like you can't take yourselves too seriously. I mean, God, di
Correct.
ba? it you just gotta be able to laugh at yourselves or make each other laugh.
Yep, yep. And it's like I'm on TV every day, in Showtime every day, and then I'm on ASAP every Sunday. So technically, I'm on TV every day. Now, the thing that I do on TV is basically what I do here at home. You know, I'm just I'm having fun. Um, why do I do that? It's just it's it relieves a lot of stress. I'm not doing it intentionally, but and this is why how so many people are into Netflix and
Mhm.
and doing the marathons. I It takes so much for me to sit down and watch something that long. Like, I was watching Doctor Strange the other night, and I do this because my wife loves watching movies with me. Oh,
Mhm.
but and I just, when is this gonna end? I don't even understand what I'm watching, and the SFX is great. I mean, the effects is good, is great, but I don't understand it. And because my attention span is so, so fast and
And
so
yes,
short,
everywhere.
I'm like, can I go now? I wanna listen to the podcast. So, but so, and I guess the reason why I like podcasts is because I could do so many things, while listening to it.
Uh-huh.
It's not a conscious thing that you have to do to focus on. It's like you're multitasking in a way, and you know what it is. Also, it's actually being a marites when you listen to podcast kasi nakikichismis ka lang naman eh. Di ba?
Uh,
Yeah. Oh,
Parang
okay.
parte ka kasi ng conversation kaya ang sarap when you're
Right.
listening to podcasts.
Yeah. So,
Like, sasagot ka din.
yeah, and I'm crazy about NBA. So I listen to this podcast about all the chismis in NBA, and I'm like, I'm the crowd that they're preaching. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, they're trading. Oh my god. Parang sobra akong alam ko naman binobolang na lang nila ako, but I fall into that trap, which before you know it, you're about to sleep and your day's done.
But you were able to do a million other things, right? While you were listening to it, you were driving, you
That's
were
right.
washing the dishes,
That's
and all
right.
that.
Mm.
So you don't have an off button. Like this is just you on a daily,
Mm.
whether you're at work and you're at home.
Mm.
That's just
Yeah,
who you
yeah, that's right. That's exactly right, Cara. I think, yeah, I don't have an off button, and I mean, I'm just restless. I mean, I run businesses too, and
are.
it's something that I like doing. I like crunching numbers. I'm excited about the effect of advertising, promotion, and the effect on sales and stuff like that. It's a science that you think is chamba, but no, it's really an exact science. Um, and my wife is like, my gosh, ang dami mong ginagawa. And I don't realize it because
You enjoy
like,
it.
yeah, exactly. So I have young friends. I don't know if you know Ryan Bang. He's a guy that I work with in
Mhm.
Showtime, and he's probably half my age, and I play golf with him like once or twice a week, and he's my golfing buddy, and he would say, Kuya Ogie, grabe no, di ka ba napapagod? Sabi ko, ba hindi, enjoy ko eh.
I know a lot of people um who are like you. Like ako rin kasi
Mm.
pag my energy is, up and then like that, and then I have a friend specifically who's like always just doing a million other things. Tapos ang galing niya sa lahat ng ginagawa niya. So parang
Ooh.
hindi ka ba natutulog? Like hindi ka ba napapagod? So hindi. It's actually what drives me. It's what gives her more energy even. Is
All right.
doing
See,
all
I was gonna ask a very sexist question. Babae ba yan o lalaki?
babae,
And
sorry, babae.
really sexist of me, but because a lot of men are really hopeless. They're just
Way to kick your your own sex down. But okay. No, I get where you're coming from
yeah, yeah.
totally. But
No,
grabe sweet ako sa mga tao like you.
what I meant by that was hopeless in the sense that they won't stop. That's what I meant.
They won't stop
That won't stop. That I mean, that may
achieving.
yeah. That's probably just my friends. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Um,
Well, you know what they say. If you surround yourself with, right?
could
Your
be.
core group and you're all the same way. I'm guessing yeah,
Oh,
ganun pa ako, so no.
oh yeah,
And
the
and
guys.
all friends.
Yep. Yeah, and the guys that I work with in Showtime and in ASAP, these are guys who are very successful, and you wonder why. Like I'll give you an example. Like for example, Vice Ganda.
Mm.
who is perhaps, one of the biggest stars that we have, and never stops.
Yeah.
And she manages artists also like I do, and then Jong Hilaria, who is a politician, and does all of these things. Anne Curtis, who is also a mother, also is doing,
Wow.
and the list goes on. And of course, the guys from ASAP, like Martin and Gary, they're just working nonstop, and it's just, I guess it's passion. I guess it boils
Yes.
down to passion. It is passion. Yeah.
And what's the word? Grit. No,
Mm,
just ano,
Grit and,
passion
and
and grit.
staying hungry, staying hungry,
Yeah.
um, in spite of the many so-called victories. You stay hungry. You stay. What else can I do? Habang
Mm-mm.
humihinga tayo, I guess that's, and we're able, then do it. Diba? But
Yeah.
having said that, I I do know how to chill. and 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 really, what we call magwalwal, di ba? Yung sige, tayo. Just deserve natin 'yan, di ba? So, and I enjoy it. I enjoy, letting my hair down, which whatever's left of it. Yeah.
There's still a lot. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm happy to know that you're able to find the balance of life, diba?
Yeah.
And I maybe a huge part of why characters such as you and the people that you're surrounded with are as gritty, if there's such a word, and as passionate as they are, is because whatever it is they're doing is they're not just doing it for themselves. But the
No.
art's what you're doing. It's outwards. You're making people laugh. You're entertaining people. You're creating music for people to listen to when they're in love, when they're sad, when they're angry. It's
Mm.
when we give. It's when I guess you find a purpose in that way, no? You give to others, and that kind of fans the flame in you.
Well, I don't think of that consciously, but now that you put words into it, I'm thinking, I guess. I'm like, those things are, whatever you said's really fancy. I said, yeah. Well,
Oh, that's nice. parang, parang yung painter na gumawa ng naman. Tas na-blotch lang naman yan. Tas like, a person comes in and like, oh, this is the world and this is what he was feeling at the time. And then the artist goes, I guess so.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for agreeing.
So, yeah. Sometimes kasi when you overthink, okay,
Sorry, I'm
and
an overthinker. Did I say that?
no, 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 no. No, I'm not talking about what you just said, but when
Okay.
people overthink about decisions, about is this me or stuff, that's when I think um, the trouble starts. Perhaps I'm not saying we shouldn't think about the things that we do. Obviously, there has to be a line that you don't cross. Um, uh, Depending on what you think is right or wrong. Diba? That's really subjective. But I want to encourage everyone to to jump. Just as we say, take a leap of faith and do it. If it's not going to work, then it's not going to work. At least it's not going to work.
Mm.
I've done many things in my career that kind of, whoa, why did I do that? But I learned a lot from it. But at the time, I said, man, this thing, I think we're gonna kill it this time, but no, we didn't kill anything.
At least it didn't kill your grit and your hunger, diba?
That it's funny. I think that's what, because you can't like strike a balance intentionally. I don't think anyone can do that. The
Mhm.
balance, I think, happens when the guy upstairs does things and says, you know what, that's not the door, but if you want to go in, go ahead.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't know if that
Yeah.
makes sense. I don't know, yeah.
No, I got a lot from that. And that's also an important thing to say, to note, 'di ba? That a lot of us, myself included, I'm still
Mm,
there. I can say have a lot of fears, 'di ba? Ang dami nating glass ceilings. Parang, oh, you're too
yeah,
scared to do this because you might fail. Oh, I won't do it na lang kasi baka ano ba, mapahiya, baka hindi gumana, baka masaktan ako,
yeah.
and all those things. But you never know until you just like
Right,
what you said, just freaking
right.
do it. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. What's the worst thing that can happen?
That's right. I think also gone are the days when, unless you're fantastically and horrendously vain,
You
I'm trying to be careful here. Uh,
don't have to be.
um, Gone are the days when you have to maintain
A certain
something.
image.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I'll give you an idea. And I'm sorry that I have to always allude to movie stars because,
Mm-hmm.
like, for example, Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
He is, by today's standards, old. But, I mean, I haven't seen the movie. People are talking about it. What is it called? What's the movie? Top
Maverick.
Gun Maverick, yep. And people are just raving about it. Can't stop talking about his physique, his colleagues keep saying he's the real deal. He's just, he works so hard, does loves what he does, takes care of everybody, makes everybody comfortable, and then for some strange reason doesn't really take himself seriously because he does comedy also. I don't know if you saw Days of Thunder. Wait, was that Days of Thunder where he played a funny character? Anyway, I can't remember the movie.
Wow, I don't remember ever seeing a movie with him playing a funny character.
He was so funny. He was so funny. So, with all the success that he's had, he's just, diba,
Enjoy.
there's exactly there's some bits there with what's his name, Colbert, the 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 host, the British host, who's funny and he's a little heavy. Um,
Uh-huh. Uh, that guy. The guy
Colbert,
who James
yeah,
Corden.
James Corden. Who is Colbert? Anyway, James. Diba? There's this part where he would take him on his jet plane, and it's hilarious. So, I mean, if a guy like that won't take himself seriously, then maybe
Yeah.
maybe we shouldn't. And I'm sure he's had his share of bombs. And that's why I like listening to that podcast. I would suggest you guys listen to it. It's called Smartless. Three funny people who talk to funny people too, and talk
Mm.
about how they made it, how they didn't make it, and all of that. It's interesting. Mm.
Thank you for mentioning that. I will most definitely start listening to that. Because lately I've been listening to a lot of murder mysteries, and like I said in the intro, whatever you put in yourself affects your entire being. And I'm like, you gotta stop
Hey,
listening to
murder mysteries. These are what? These are book.
podcasts, documentaries, books. I don't know what it is about them that really kind of hooks me. Maybe it's just that trying to understand how the human brain works, but
I find that fascinating. I think that would interest me. You know who would be interested in this? My wife. She, would- oh man,
yep.
she's huge with what's that show before? Is it LA Confidential or no?
Ah,
Those,
did you ever watch Forensic Files?
she did for
She
sure.
probably did.
She watched
Yep,
all of that.
it's the women.
What's the one that goes klung klung?
Then ah,
That one. She watches that, and then of course the yung Soko sa States. Ano,
so ko sa States, di ko alam.
one
Basta
where
yun.
they Di ba ang galing? Posa talaga. Di ba? So, but that one, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Just escapes me, but she watches all that, and she got me into it. Which I said,
Oh,
"Galing nito ah." I mean, you don't care really about the acting, to be honest. You just care about because you know the guy's gonna catch whoever it is, the thief, the murderer,
mm-hmm.
blah blah, and but the process of which he does it is the interesting part. The technology
Yes.
and so you're in a good place. Um,
Okay. Thanks, I guess.
yeah,
I'm just trying to find that. Hindi, kasi, it's behavioral sciences. So you're learning a lot of things about people, about
yeah,
criminals,
yeah,
but still, humans. It's human nature.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if you guys watch the Narcos,
Yeah.
all of that. If you watch, you already know how it's gonna end, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, you find yourself rooting
For
for him.
him, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, please don't catch him.
Such a
He's
family guy. He has a soft heart.
not really bad. He's just, he kills people, but so
He loves his family.
loves his family and he has affairs and
But you're rooting for him.
no, it's funny, and
Good
then
writing and good acting.
man,
Brilliant.
just
That's
amazing,
why you root for him.
just amazing. Um, I don't know why I went there, but
I'm happy it did though. We started from humor and music heals, and we got the Narcos for some reason. But okay, I just have like a last couple of questions for you. I don't want to take so much of your time,
oh,
Nino,
you're
because I
fine.
know you have a lot
You're fine.
to do. But going back to what we were talking about earlier,
Mm.
I'm just curious as to what because you've been doing this basically all your life, right? But especially starting from the pandemic, which was a completely new experience for everybody in the world.
Yeah.
What new things did you learn about yourself, your process in creating music, your ability to revert back to humor through the lens of the experience of the pandemic? Nagbago ka ba? Have you changed at all?